Hi everyone, and welcome to our July 4th edition of our online Jujitsu workout classes. As usual, we hope everybody is healthy and safe and doing well in their stay-at-home environments and managing to stay healthy, work out with us, and stay engaged in your Jujitsu practice. So, that said, let's get ready for class. So. So yeah, mate. Informal bow. On your shoulders. Hands on your hips or on your bells. Head to the right. Ich, knee, sun, shi. Go inside. Ich, knee, sun, shi. Go. Head back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down. Look right, left. Right, left, right, left, right, left, tilt right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, any way you need it. Shoulders forward, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, reverse, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, alternating, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, reverse, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hands up, elbows back, ich, knee, sun, forward, ich, knee, sun, forward, ich, knee, sun, forward, reverse, ich, knee, sun, back, ich, knee, sun, back, ich, knee, sun, back. Left hominy, left hand on your belt, right hand forward, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, reverse, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, one thigh, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, reverse, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, and natural stance, both arms in, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, out, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, left hammy, right arm in, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, out, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, shake it in, shake it out, side to side, punch, die, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, out, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, shake it in, shake it out, side to side, punch. Elbows against your chest, both hands in, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, out, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, shake it in, shake it out, side to side, double punch, hips to the right, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, and dive, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, stretch back, forward, back hands overhead, forward, chest to your right knee, which knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, die, ich, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, and ready for torso rotations to the right. We have to move into the sun for this. Ready to the right, hitch, knee, sun, shi, go, hook, sich, catch, ku, chu, dai, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Standard split. Almost to the mat. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Rocking. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Back on your heels. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Pivot to your left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Dai. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Back to center. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Rocking. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Back on your heels. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Pivot left again. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Dai. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And come up to shikadach. Hips forward. Breathe in. Out. In. Out. Drop your right shoulder. Dai. 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 Straighten out your right leg for a side kick. Dai. 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 Dai, toes up. Dai. 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 Dai all the way down. Dai. 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 And drop your right knee into hurdler stretch. Stretch forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Single straight twist. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Dai. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Dai, front in front. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Twist. Forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, twist, dai, forward, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, twist, forward, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, twist, and both feet in front, come up, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, reach a little deeper, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, sit up straight, twist right, left, right, left, apart, over the right, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, left, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, center, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, right again, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, left, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, back to center, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Bring him in. Bounce. Down on your knees. Chest to feet. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Feet back to front again. Reach deep. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. And sit up straight, twist right. Left, right, left, and let's get in position for jackknives. If you can do the back fold, do so. I'm going to try and do it so my head at least isn't in the sun. Ready? Hey! Jackknives. Measurement. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju. Hands at their butt, scissors slow and wide. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, straight up, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, knees to chest, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, flutter kick, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ku, ju, keep them up straight, feet on your belly, slowly down, stretch, right knee in, press as close to your body as you can get it, Hook behind your knee, put it down, twist. Thigh. Twist. Both knees in, rocking. Stretch. Heels in, bridge. Rocking if you can. Hands by your shoulders, push all the way up. And down. Okay, ready for push-ups. So again, if you can do the face fold, do the face fold. Otherwise, get into push-up position. Hey. Push-up position. Head up, right leg up. Down, left leg up. Down, head down, back. Scoop. Back. Down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, head up, right leg up, down, left leg up, down, head down, back, scoop, back, down, one more. Head up, right leg up. Down, left leg up. Down, head down, back. Scoop. Back. Down. Hold it. Relax. Up. Day. 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 Turn around, drop to your knee. Fix whatever you need to fix. And left tummy. Go to Gesh. Day. Day. EQ. Day. Day, EQ. Day. Dai, thank you. Dai. Dai, Shikanagi. Dai. Dai, with the wrist stretch. Dai. And shake it loose. Today we're going to be working with our basic club work, and we've done this before. I have the rattan sticks that are the traditional sticks that we've used in class and that we generally use, and I have the two 1-inch dowels that I made myself. These are just some exercises I do with the clubs, the rattan sticks, just to be comfortable with them, to know where they are in space, and to be able to know what happens when I grab them and can readjust my grip wherever I need to do to make sure that my connection to them stays good at all times, and that my sense of control of them is improved. They're not necessarily things you do to use the club as a weapon, but they allow you to practice and improve and get very connected to the weapon, know where it is and how to use it and correct for it, know its weight, know its weight distribution, know its balance, and be always able to position it as you need it, when needed. Especially if you take it off your opponent, you need to be able to get it into a position where you can actually use it. This is actually more difficult to do with the rattan sticks because their balance is different. You'll notice that they taper. There's a thin end and a fat end. See, they have different thicknesses, and their weight distribution will differ depending on the stick. Each one weighs a different amount. So calculating where it is in the air, where its center of gravity is, how it'll land, is actually more difficult than doing it with, like a club made from dowels that are equally weighted throughout and equally thick, and both clubs weigh the same amount. So the same amount of velocity applied to them will give the same result. Whereas in the rattan sticks, they have to calculate each one differently. So which one's in my left, which is in my right, will depend, or will have a different effect because its weight will be different. Whereas these two, because they're basically cut from the same piece of wood, which is the same thickness, they're the same weight and behave equally. We're going to start with the 5 basic points. That is neck, shoulder, and either elbow or knee, depending on the length of your stick, the reach, distance, and who your enemy is and what they're doing. And then 5 is the poke. So the basic is right forehand to the shoulder neck. So you want to chamber right around, like as if you're answering the phone. Fist next to your ear. Don't raise your elbow too high. A lot of wrist in it. Try and keep your elbow mostly out of it. You'll have to use your elbow to straighten it to get reach. But depending on how you're doing this, if you're doing it like patty cake with somebody doing it in bunkai style, you don't have to reach because you're hitting their weapon. You're not hitting their body. So your elbow is optional how much you use it. So first strike, again, just hold your left hand in guard, and right is going to be raised to your ear, slight hip turn, strike, and back. And then number 2 is going to be the backhand version of the same thing. So again, you're raising towards your opposite ear. Again, you're not bringing your elbow up, and you're not going across or twisting too much, exposing this part of your body. So you're just bringing it across, and again, it's mostly wrist. Your elbow is just for reach. So that's 1 and 2. So let's do 1 and 2 back and forth. So we go 1 and back, 2 and back, 3 and back, 4 and back, 5 and back, 6 and back, 7 and back, 8 back, 9 back, 10 and back. I probably shouldn't be counting in English with them because they have English names or English numbers. So it should be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now you notice I'm swaying slightly because basically I'm dipping my knees a little bit. Whichever side I'm hitting, I'm dipping. So if I'm doing the forehand, I'm dipping my right knee a little bit. And if I'm doing the backhand, I'm dipping my left knee. So I'm using my knee to allow my hip to turn, as opposed to stepping in, which of course is what you do if you need to make up distance or for various versions of these strikes. But from natural stance, we have to bend our knee. So again, 1, and come back to chamber for 2, 2, and come back to chamber for 1, 1, come back to chamber for 2, 2, come back to chamber for 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so let's do the same thing with 3 and 4. So for want of a target, let's presume that there's a front stepping knee to hit, so that way we can target low. This of course can target other parts, as I said. So if we're going to target low, like we do in the bunkai, in the kata, you do have to either step in or reach in. So your elbow is going to come to a full extension. And what we're going to do to get from 2, so we've done 2, is that we're going to come around and forehand. So think of coming back to here as your base position. And so if you're going to come from here, you're going to rotate around and then strike. So there's a lot of wrist turn and then strike. The strike is going to again happen with the knee bend or with the step in. So again, 1 and 2 would come from here. 1, we could go back to there. 2, back to there. But for doing 1, 2, 3, 4, we need to be able to flow between them. So 3, we're going to start here. We're going to let go. We're going to come around and strike. And then come back to here. And backhand is almost the same. We're just going to drop and strike though. So to go between the two, we go around, bop, and then round, bop. So bop, 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 bop. So you're basically just almost like a very large metronome, which means that you got to let go your grip a little bit, because if you're really stiff, you're not going to be able to make that turn. So you need to come around, and then, so imagine, so see the way I'm holding it like this, and I can add extra womp onto it by smacking it, by pulling it really tight, using that little bit of lever that I've got from my fulcrum, which is where my thumb grip is. So as I come around, I'm loose, and then I'm tight. Loose, tight, loose, tight, loose, tight. Same with the backhand. Backhand comes around nice and loose, and then tight to hit. Tight, loose, tight, loose, tight. So let's just do that a few times. We're just going to go back and forth between front 3 and 4. So 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. So going between 1 and 2 is relatively simple. Going between 3 and 4 is relatively simple. So let's go between all of them. So we have to go from 2 to 3. So what we're going to do that is we're going to 1, chamber to 2, 2, coming back, around, down, that's 3, and back up over the top, and 4. And then 5 would be to withdraw and push in. So we might as well add that in, seeing as there's not that much. So the only time that you move your left hand is once you hit for 5, you know that their 5 is coming in, so you want to be able to block their incoming 5. Otherwise you're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block. So let's do that slowly. So left hand in defensive position, chamber by your right ear, strike 1, chamber by your left ear, strike 2, around and down, strike 3, over the top, around and down, strike 4, withdraw your elbow, push forward your elbow, drop your blocking hand, and back. Let's do that again. Chamber by your right ear, strike 1, left ear, strike 2, over the top, around and down, 3, over the top, around and back, 4, elbow back, coming forward, dropping your blocking arm, and back again. Again, chamber by your right ear, strike 1, left ear, strike 2, over the top, around 3, over the top, back 4, withdraw your elbow, strike and drop your blocking hand, and back. So, 5 is this. You're going to have to also bring your hip into it and then bring your hip back as you withdraw. So from 4 you've backhanded your backhand, so your left knee is down a bit. As you withdraw, you can keep that knee down a bit and then swap knees as you poke forward. So let's do that again. Chamber by your right ear, strike 1, to the right, to the left, backhand, strike 2, over the top, forehand down 3, over the top, backhand down 4. I'm on my left knee still, keep it there, withdraw the elbow, move that hip in a little bit, and now coming forward, swap with your knees, drop your hand, poke and block together, and then come back to even. Alright, so let's speed it up a little bit. So I'm not going to tell you where to go, but it's basically going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, poke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's just keep going like that for a little bit. And what you're going to find is that when you're doing 5, you'll either find that you're starting to move this hand in a circle, or you're starting to move this hand in a circle. So you want to be able to actually drop and poke in a straight line. So that's something that you have to get used to. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So it's good if you can, if you have something to hit, right? So if you can set yourself up, even if you have a tree that you can wrap a blanket around or something, and that way you can get your targeting down a little bit better. So shoulder, neck, and either knee or, you know, we could do elbows. So say Uke was holding a weapon, we could do elbow, elbow. Shoulder, shoulder, elbow, elbow, poke. Shoulder, shoulder, elbow, elbow, poke. So, you know, when we do this as our kata, we'll be doing the lower strike, so you have to lean in. When you're doing elbow, obviously you don't need to extend your elbow. You don't have to come in. You're this far. You can basically do the whole thing from one position, except for the poke. So from here, without really moving at all, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then poke. So notice I can just keep my elbow 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only 5 that requires me to move that elbow. So the second stick, it's basically the same thing, right? We're going to basically go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. But we're going to do the same manner that we were just doing it in. So with 2 sticks, you're basically doing the mirror opposite with your left hand. So this time your stick is going to be up as a form of guard. So it's going to drop into position so that it's both out of the way and protecting. So we're going to go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. So what happens is you find that they kind of are going to circle around each other in this method. So again, 1 is coming like that, and as you come to do the second one, you're going to bring this one underneath and bring the other one over the top. 1 there. Now you're going to cycle again over and bring your 2 out, and cycle underneath, bring your second 2 out, cycle underneath, bring your 3 in, cycle underneath, bring your 3 in, cycle 4, cycle 4, 5, 5. Now 5, you have to be able to slap their incoming 5 again, just like before. So you have to kind of stop your cycling and be ready for an actual defense. So nice and slow. So starting with them both across your belly like this. Chamber 1, strike 1, rotate underneath, chamber 1, strike 1B, coming underneath, strike 2, coming underneath, strike 2B, coming underneath, strike 3, coming underneath, strike 3B, coming underneath, strike 4, coming underneath, strike 4B, and now withdrawing, strike 5, and you have to be ready to defend, and strike 5. So 5, 5. Again, you're going to start doing both of them down or both of them out. That's something that you just have to get used to doing. Okay, so let's not get bogged down in the nitty-gritty. Let's do by your belly. Chamber 1, strike 1, rotate under, chamber 1, strike 1B, rotate under, chamber 2, strike 2, rotate under, chamber 2, strike 2B, rotate under, over the top and under for 3, come underneath, over the top and under for 3, come underneath again, backhand 4, underneath, backhand 4B, withdraw, poke, drop, withdraw, poke, drop, and back. So let me, just don't want to be hitting okay here. So the way I do it when you work it up fast, it'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, like that. But the only way you can get that is by making sure that you've got the coordination between how they rotate relative to each other. Otherwise you're going to be hitting yourself in the air. So again, chamber 1, strike 1, rotate underneath, chamber 1, strike 1B, rotate underneath, chamber 2, strike 2, rotate underneath, chamber 2, strike 2B, rotate underneath, come over the top and down, strike 3, rotate underneath, over the top and down, 3B, coming underneath, rotate backhand 4, up underneath, backhand 4B, withdrawing, poking, and trapping, and back. And the same thing, withdraw, poking, and trapping, and back. Sometimes it's hard to do it slowly too, because I'm so used to doing it fast. Alright, let's speed it up just a little bit. So, up 1, up 1, up 2, up 2, over the top 3, over the top 3, backhand 4, backhand 4, poke 5, poke 5, and back. Up for 1, and 2, and 2, and 3, and 3, and 4, and 4, and 5, and 5. And 1, and 1, and 2, and 2, and 3, and 3, and 4, and 4, and 5, and 5. And 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And yeah. So those are our basic 5 strikes. A good way of practicing them. And now let's put it in the context of our kata. So we've got more than 5 strikes in the kata, but they're basically the 5 strikes plus. So let's go through and do those. So again, we just need the 1 stick for doing the kata moves. We start our kata with the 5. So we go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and we do that 3 times. And once we do that, then we come into Hamni, and Uke comes in basically with a Shomanuchi of the stick variety. So an over the top, straight down the center, cracking your skull shot. And then we, in response to that, do all our moves. So our first move is number 1. So we're going to come in and we're going to strike number 1. The difference here, and there's two main differences. One is that we're coming in. So our our right foot with our right hand comes in, and whenever we do our backhand, our left foot comes in. That's pretty standard. But the other thing is that we're actually actively using our blocking hand. So we're not just coming in strike, we're coming in slightly off center strike, and we're parrying their arm. So as their arm comes in, we're parrying it and moving it to the side. So my strike, if they're coming in center like this, I'm going to be slightly off to the side here. So my coming in is to the 45, I'm hitting to the 45, and I'm continuing their hand down the center of what was their line of attack. So that keeps it safe, keeps it away from me, and keeps it on the trajectory that they first intended it, so it keeps them their balance onto where they expect it to be, and not where they expected me to be. So I'm here, I strike, and then I come back. So every time we're going to come back into Hamni. You don't have to come back to even stance, come back to Hamni, but you're going to bring your stick to your waist. When we do our first strike, we're on the inside, right? So their strike is coming in like this. It's coming down the center, so we're not that far on the inside, but we're coming in here. And so for the backhand, which is more difficult, not only are we coming to the outside and hitting here, but we have to also block that hand from the outside. So the trick here is that you have to block as you chamber by your left ear. So your left hand is coming up so that it's coming underneath your stick arm. So think of it as a cross block like this. So our chambers like that, then this hand can come in and block, and this can strike above, because we're going to be blocking this arm and we have to strike here. We don't want to be... We can do... The opposite is when we do the knee, but for now we want to cross block that. So yes, the first one, we're coming in to the outside, and their chamber is probably still pretty close to their center, so even if they have both hands on it, if it was a Boken attack, we could still do the same thing. They've got two hands on, we're still coming to this position. For the outside, we come to that position. Okay, so again, we start with our stick down, we come in, block and hit for number one, back to here. Now we're going to come in with the left foot, so we're going to step in, block, hit. Again, you don't have to make a lot of contact with this hand. It's not necessarily a grab. It can be just a push to make sure that their weapon stays offline. or on what was their original trajectory, their planned line. Right, so we're going to come in and hit and back, and then for 3 and 4 it's basically the same thing, except for we're hitting their knee. So again, let me pretend he's got 2 hands on it just to make it easier so he doesn't rotate. So we're blocking on the inside and hitting the inside of their forward knee. The reason that we're hitting the forward knee is because it's forward, right? Otherwise we'd have to reach pretty far to get, even though it's on our side, to get to the rear knee. So we're going for the forward knee, which should be somewhat underneath their hand. And then for 4, we're going to come to the outside, so left foot steps in, and we backhand to the same knee. This time it's the outside of the knee, and again we're just blocking that hand from hitting us, or backhanding us after the fact, right? We're going to just keep it there. So the basic moves are right hominy, step in, hit and back, left, over the top, number 2, right, number 3, left, number 4. So the big differences are that our blocking hand is actually being active, and that we're coming in right side for our forehands, left side for our backhands, and we're taking the line of attack slightly off center. So let's just go through those 4 quickly. They're pretty obvious, so we don't have to practice them as much. So 1, hit and trap, and back. 2, block underneath and hit. 3, block low hit. 4, block on top, low hit. Okay, again, 1, hit and block. 2, underneath block, backhand. 3, block hit. 4, hit underneath the blocking hand. And back again. 1, and back. 2, and back. 3, and back. 4, and back. Okay, so 5 and 6 are basically our number 5 poke, except we're adding into it a body drop. So in order to do that, we're going to step out and cross step into our scissor lift drop position. And the idea here is that, so this time Uke, just get this hand out of the way here for now, Uke is coming like this and is open on the belly, by the belly, depending on where they have their blocking hand, of course. So you go for the target of what you want. But the idea here is that we're going to 45, hitch step, cross step, drop down, and come up underneath that blocking arm. So the strike is both an extension of the hand, the poke, and a coming up of our scissor lift. That way we can get in nice and low, and boom, come right up into them underneath their elbows, which might be protecting their chest. So number 5 is pretty obvious, because we just do that and we poke them, and of course we still have our blocking parrying hand, making sure that they don't change their targeting. 6 is a little different. 6 is exactly the same thing, except for the only time in the kata we switch hands. And that's simply just because we're coming to their outside, and if we're here and we try and block that, we're kind of in our own way. So it's actually easier to just come left, cross step with the right foot, block with the right hand, and hit the floating ribs underneath the striking arm's armpit. Because that's the hand they have the stick in, right? So we don't have as much openness, we have to come up underneath their elbow. So we got to make sure that they're turned away from us a little bit. So the parry hand is actually important. It generates that opening. It not only keeps their elbow out from their body, but also keeps them turned slightly so that we can have access to them. And we are going to be low and coming up. Boom. So 5 and 6. Hitch step in, cross step drop, block, poke. And back. Opposite side, opposite hand. Left foot hitch steps in, right foot cross steps, right hand blocks, left hand pokes. And back. 5, hitch step in, cross step drop, poke. And back. 6, hitch step in, cross step drop, poke. 5, hitch step in, cross step drop, poke. 6, hitch step in, cross step drop, poke. 5, hitch step in, drop, poke. 6, hitch step in, drop, poke. So of course, poke comes as you come up, you don't just stay dropped. So 5, hitch step in, drop, poke. 6, hitch step in, drop, poke. One more round. 5, in, drop, poke. 6, in, drop, poke. Alright, so kind of running out of time, so let's quickly just do 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, just so you have them in your memory and you can work on them. 7 and 8 are like with our Boken kata from 2 strikes. So they come 1, they missed because you withdrew, they're going to retarget and come 2 with a second strike. So when they come with their first strike, we're going to step back. So we're going to move from right foot forward to left foot forward as deep as we can get, which draws them towards us, towards the 45. So their first strike comes in, then they have to retarget to that 45 and come at us there. So let me show you what that looks like from behind. My left foot is forward. I'm stepping deep back. Can't go much further right now because the uke's in my way. And I'm going to drop my stick to behind my leg here. So basically it's hidden. They can't see my arm, they can't see my weapon, and maybe they don't know I have a weapon, right? So that might be a smart thing. You're here and they're coming, they go, oh, let's get over here. They come again, suddenly I've got a weapon. I'm going to hit, step in, and backhand. So the first hit is a parrying of their weapon, of their second strike. So I'm going to knock it out of the way. It's coming at me. I come up, I knock it out of the way. That puts it in chamber already for my backhand, and I can step in and strike. So the timing on this is not step in, parry, strike. It's parry, step in, strike. And that way, so in the Boken kata, you know, we do that thing where we do a foot exchange. It's not that. So what we're doing is we're going step back, their first strike, second strike, we parry, then we step in and do number 2. So it goes step back, drop high the stick, then 1, and then step in 2. And as we do 2, we can then start controlling their body. We're not going to be reaching for them with our blocking hand for their first strike. So we get rid of their weapon by parrying it across. Now we can take their elbow and do number 2. So again, 7, step back deep, drop your weapon, hide it. Then number 1, and step in number 2. Again, step back deep, hide your weapon. Number 1, step in number 2. One more time. Step back deep, hide your weapon, bring up your guard. Number 1, blocks. Step in number 2, strikes, and we can control their body as we do that. Okay, so 8 is basically the same thing, but because we're holding the weapon with our right hand, we're not going to switch this time. We're going to slide back. So this, we're still in right hominy, so now we're doing a slide back because we're going to maintain that right foot as our front foot. So we slide back, and instead of hiding our weapon behind our legs, we're going to put our weapon onto our forearm like this, as though we were just balancing it like that. So we're basically just turning it away from them and laying it down. It's actually not that visible to them in this position, but we're not doing this, exposing ourselves and winding up so big that it takes time for us to come around. We're just putting it there so that it's seemingly out of play, and then we can do our very quick backhand. So our backhand is our first thing that we do. We parry with the backhand, and then we can step in and forehand strike, and we can use our blocking hand to help once we've parried them. So 8 is, the footwork is just slide back, slide in, slide back, slide in. When we slide back, we chamber our weapon here. So basically our 2 fists are almost above our obi knot here. This fist isn't actually doing anything, that's just going to be our blocking hand. And then we're going to backhand and slide in. We can also control them. Backhand, forehand. Again, we slide back, chamber, backhand, forehand. So we come in for the forehand. So 7 is forehand, backhand, and 8 is backhand, forehand. And they lead into each other because the one gives you the momentum and position for the other. So let's do 8 a few times. Slide back, chamber, backhand, slide in, forehand. And chamber again. Slide back, chamber, backhand, slide in, forehand, and back. Again, slide back, chamber, backhand, slide in, forehand, and back. Again, slide back, chamber, backhand, slide in, forehand. Again, slide back, chamber, backhand, slide in, forehand. So it should come pretty natural that you make that almost infinity shape. When you're doing it, you do forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand. So running out of time, so 9 and 10. So 9 and 10 are from 3 strikes, right? So they come once, they come twice, and stupidly enough, they come a 3rd time. This time we're not scooting off to the sides. So we're inviting them down the center. We want them to keep coming. Oh, this is successful, I'm driving them back. And like you hear often, many times in martial arts, you never go back 3 times. You should go back twice maybe, and the 3rd time divert to somewhere. So that's what we're doing. So we're inviting them by going tap, backhand, tap, and then as they come in for the 3rd, this is when we're going to slide in and do our big finale. So we're not going to really defend hard in terms of trying to divert their weapon. We're drawing them in. So as the weapon comes in, we just have to tap it a little bit, tap it a little bit. So the first tap is going to be a forehand, the second tap is going to be a backhand, and so forehand, backhand, and there. that transition is the important part, right? So we're going to be going slide back, forehand, slide back, backhand, and now we're going to step in. So from our backhand position, right foot is now forward, because we just did slide back, slide back. We're going to step in, and left hand drops onto the working part of the other end of the stick, and we're kind of turned. As we do that, we can now come in with our right foot and slide and hit at the same time. So the idea here is that we're in this position, and we're going to come to this position. From the front, looks like this. Right? We want to be pretty close together. You don't want to be all the way over, but you want to be able to basically have your hands in front of your hips. And this is the hit out here. So you're hitting uke with all the weight of your body. So you're not, see, it doesn't move that much if I hit him like that. I can hit him like that a lot, and I can make it snap, but if I bring my whole body in, I can do a lot of damage. So the idea then is that, and you should know this, Uke's stick is here, this is coming in underneath here, and then we can turn it over and we can do our takedown. Let's not worry about the takedown for now because we're out of time, but let's iterate our positions. So right foot forward, we slide back, tap with a forehand, slide back again, tap with a backhand. Now we drop to our hips, step in with our left, be nice and deep, and now when we step with our right, we can slide and hit. So our right is actually, as our right steps in, is our hit. It doesn't have to step through. It only has to come knee to knee, because that is our hit. And we're probably going to dead stop there as we boom, hit them. So, right foot forward, slide back, tap forehand, slide back, tap backhand, drop to your chamber, bring your left hip forward, then bring your right hip and foot together as we strike. Let's just do that a few times, just that strike. So have your left foot forward, have your stick where you're about maybe 2 inches from either end, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn our hips and bring our right foot in, but off the ground. See, like this. So that way we're able to drive that hip even more. And as we do it, we're sliding to here. And it's against me. I'm using my entire body to do that throw. So let's do it like that. From here, hitch, back, knee, back, sun, back, shi, back, gu, back, rook, back, sich, back, hatch, back, ku, back, chu, back. Alright, so let's put that little last few together. So right foot forward, and we're going to do 9 and 10. So hitch step back, tap forehand, hitch step back, backhand, switch your feet, come into that position, and strike. Again, slide back, tap forehand, slide back, tap backhand, left foot comes forward, we drop to our hips, and strike. Again, slide back, tap forehand, slide back, tap backhand, switch feet, come in, strike. Again, slide back, tap forehand, slide back, tap backhand, Left foot comes forward and drop to our hips. Then come in and strike. One more time. Okay, each step back, tap forehand. Each step back, tap backhand. Left foot comes forward, drop to our hips. Come in and strike. Okay, so I'd like to actually see you do some of this stuff, but before we do it, let's just go through the whole thing one time, and then I'll have a look if you've got camera and space for me to review what you're doing. So the whole thing put together is number 1, come in, block, strike, back. Number 2, underhand, backhand, strike. Number 3, block, knee. Number 4, block, knee. Number 5, come in, scissor lift, drop, poke. Number 6, switch hands, scissor lift, poke. Number 7, hit 1, hit 2, forehand, step in, backhand. Number 8, slide back, chamber, backhand, step in, forehand. And 9 and 10, slide back, tap open, tap back, left foot forward, come in and strike. And then of course, the takedown. Ready, pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, ju, pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, ju, pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, ju, pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, ju, pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, ju. And you may standing twists. Remember to turn your head all the way with your shoulders. Pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, ju. Let's do a standing split. And we do our twists from here. So again, make sure you look up towards the ceiling with each iteration. So hands to toes, or fingers to toes. Pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, ju, pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, ju, pitch, knee, san, shi, go, rook, sich, hutch, kyu, and ju. And shake this. Let's come down into Eizan. This one almost at a time. Do a little stretching from here. Call it good. So hands on the mat. Keep your butt on your heels. Try and slide forward like a snowplow with no weight on your fingers at all. If you have to push back with your arms, put weight on them to keep your butt down, that's okay. Eventually you want to be able to just hover and keep your butt on the ground or on your heels all the way stretched out. Back, all the way back. Up. Interlock your fingers, put them behind your head, bring your elbows forward, and again, keeping your butt on your heels, touch the mat. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ruk. Sich. Hatch. Ku. Chew. And flare your elbows. And here the idea again is try and keep both hips touching your heels and try and touch your elbow to the mat parallel to your body, so right by this hip. And if you can't do that, come forward a bit till you touch, and eventually you're going to work your way back to being all the way sideways. So ready, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hatch, ku, chew, and twist right, left, left, and yeah. So one of the things I've been working on and emphasizing is this ability to twist your body and get your body into these twisted forms that allow you to express a lot of these judo throws and punches and everything else too. The more that you can take advantage of body twists, the better your practice will be. Okay, so so. So yame, informal bow, now to get the Eizan style. And thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again next week.